are burning strong till the night is come and gone. There's a hope that lives in you. You gotta love with God.
Hello everyone and welcome to our live stream here at Hope United Church.
We would love to see any of our services in Motherwell at 11 a.m. or in Dundee at 5 p.m.
Why not check out Pastor Mark's web series The Thinking Church, which you can find on our Facebook page or on Pastor Mark's page on our website every Friday.
And if you have any questions or queries, please feel free to contact us at info@hopeunited.org.uk.
Enjoy the service.
Do you want to put up the message title? You'll get what I'm coming for here. Right, I'm going to talk about exposing Jezebel. Okay, I find it very hard to talk about anything that's no hot off the press about where I'm at. And what I'm going to talk about is one of my favourite subjects. Is the Jezebel, and Jezebel's not a spirit, it's actually a person, but I just want to go to 1 Kings where I'm going to talk about it. And this is, over the past month, we have been facing, as you know, we've been in this journey and we've learned loads and stuff, but one of the predominant things, and some of you have heard me mention that, God, I just thought Jezebel was like some, I didn't even know it was biblical. Some people don't even know that, what a Jezebel is. And I also understand that Jezebels get brandished about all the time in church. No, a Jezebel can get brandished about in church. Anybody that's got a resentment, they call somebody a Jezebel. Anybody that's annoyed, oh, that's a Jezebel or that's a Jezebel, and because that's easier than dealing with anything. And modern charismatic Pentecostal church just names and claims everything as a Jezebel, rather than it predominantly being maybe your own issues or your own issues or what you've no dealt with in life, and we call it a Jezebel. Having said that, they're real, and they're the greatest danger to the church today. They are the greatest danger to the church today. And the more you know about it, the better. So I'm going to walk you through this, what a Jezebel is, how they operate, what they look like, and some of this stuff will be dead scary. Because wait till I tell you, see, as I get into this, some of you will identify with it. Somebody's like, what? That's me, you know. And I know that's going to freak you out, you know. But it's dead important to explain, and there's no easy way to package this other than get right into it. Let me just start with the title's called Exposing Jezebel, and because we faced this a lot, and predominantly I've faced it for the past since I get saved. Predominantly the last 8 years, I've faced these types, and some of them have not been that. Some of them have just been accomplices of that, which I'll get into, hopefully, if I've got time. But predominantly, I've faced that and what they are and what they look like and how they try and take you down and how the flowery church has no dealt with it well, because we don't like to call anything out for what they are in case we offend anybody. You know what I mean? That's a snowflake church. You know what I mean? You can't say anything to anybody. I don't know if you've seen the signs now. No, it's the police that have signed them, and the police and the government now, you know. And honestly, it's like no to anything, no to, but basically it's saying there's no to Christianity as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you've seen any of these, they're shocking. And we're actually becoming we're so secular in this country, but we're more than that. We're becoming like George Orwell. We're becoming, and that's what we're becoming. And persecution in this country, in the Western world, is very small compared to persecution in the Eastern world. I'm talking Christian persecution here, okay? And especially if you're Bible-based and where we are as a church and where we're going as a church, it'll get worse, you know. You got to remember, way back in the 16th century, people like John Knox and the Puritans, people will argue about this. You go, oh, well, we have to submit to authority. They never submitted to authority, because see, if it wasn't godly, they never submitted to it. They submitted to God first and then anything else after that. So they get their heads chopped off. They didn't get their heads chopped off for preaching the gospel. They get their heads chopped off because they wouldn't submit to the government. That's what they get their head. So that they get their heads chopped off for treason. They get their heads chopped off for people like John Knox because they chased Mary Queen of Scots out because they weren't allowed, because they were a sect. They became non-biblical in their whole ethos. So you can argue about what you submit to and what you don't submit to and what you do. No, I just start with this thought. No, do you think God's going to honour you if you submit to something more than him? You've got to ask yourself that question, and you'll have the people who'll argue about that. But anyway, So, because of this, because of where we've been in, I think it's just dead important to really explain that. So, as I say, I've no packaged the starter well here, but it really doesn't matter. Okay, let me tell you a bit about who Jezebel is in the Bible, and then we're going to get in and share some stuff, and then I'm going to share characteristics and psychological mindsets that become part of what then could become a Jezebel. Okay, so quite psychological in this as well. So, okay, Jezebel, who's Jezebel? Right, Ethebal was her father. We don't know who her mother was. Old Testament here, 1 Kings. Jezebel was a woman, okay? She's no spirit, no, which we tell in the modern church today. Oh, it's a spirit. No spirit, it's a real person. Yeah. We don't want to say it's a real person because where's the love? No, it's a real person. Jezebel was a person. Right, it wasn't a spirit. It wasn't somebody going by in the air. It wasn't foam. Okay, it was a real person. Okay, it was a real person, and she was the daughter in Old Testament of Ethbal. Ethbal means Baal is alive, meaning false gods are alive. That's what his name means in Hebrew. He worshipped, so you don't know anything about Jezebel's mother. Never mentioned. I've studied and studied and studied. I've studied it for years. I don't know anything about who her mother is. I've even Googled it, Wikipedia'd it. I've tried everything, still nothing. We don't know who she is. We don't know. But we know who her dad is. Her dad is Ethbal, and his name means Baal is alive. He worshipped 2 false gods. This was his thing. He was a king, and he worshipped 2 false gods. The god is Astarte, and another one called Melkart. I might not be pronouncing that right, but you get my meaning. One spelled Astarte, another one is Melqart, okay, in case I'm pronouncing that wrong. Ethebal was the king of the region of Tyre and Sidon. He was a Sidonian. He was the king of that area. And these 2 false gods whom he worshipped mattered. And the reason it matters is because what you worship in your childhood becomes what you value and protect throughout your life. So whatever you worship is your God. People say, "Oh, my God's that." Listen, if you worship money, money's your God. If you worship handbags, handbags is your God. If you worship approval, then approval's your God. Whatever you worship is your God. And it's important to know what Jezebel was round about, because it's so vital to know what she worshipped. Because what she worshipped becomes her mindset and her belief system as she moves through life. Are we cool here? Yeah. So what worshipped in her childhood becomes what we value and pursue. That's why a lot of people, most people at any given point in their life, or most people in their life, have had money issues at some point, or unhealthy money issues, because they'll have been exposed in their childhood to, I don't mean everybody, in your home you may have, during times of money you were a bit happier. The home was happier, and during times of being pratted, the home had a bit less happiness and joy. And that's what then creates the belief systems and mindsets and all that stuff. Okay, so what we see being worshipped in our infancy is who and what we gain all our values from. Yeah? What we see being worshipped in our infancy is who or what we gain our values from. Train up a child in the way they should go, and when they're old, they won't depart from it. It's not that they can't, they just won't. So now let me tell you a bit about these gods, because it's good to know. The first is Melqart, right? Melqart is very similar to the... See, when I'm talking about these gods, just to let you know, we're talking about Greek gods. They're myths. They don't exist. They never existed. They're Baals. They don't exist. Greek gods don't exist. They're created. They never exist, okay? So when I'm talking about them, they don't exist. They've been created. There's no such a thing as a real Greek god, okay? No, they do not exist in anywhere. They're mythology. It's a myth, okay? So just to let you know. I'm sure you know that, but just in case you don't. Okay, so let me tell you. The first is Melqart. Melqart is very similar to Hercules. Hercules would have been another Greek god. They were very similar in the type of people they were and the type of nature they were. They weren't people, of course. Mindsets and mythology. His gift and main role, if you like, was to gather people together in complex ways. Just bear with me here. In complex, I've read this. It's brilliant. At the new, you're just, it's dead in its infancy, the new, but wait till it kicks in, honestly, you'll be off the edge of the seat. His gift and main role, if you like, was to gather people together in complex ways. He is the God of colonization. That was one of his gods. You know, some of these Greek gods, they had other god figures, you know, the god of love and the god of this and the god of that, even though they had a different name. He was the god of colonization, meaning to gather people together in order to control them. Okay? One of the gods, listen to me, one of the gods that Jezebel was brought up in her infancy was to worship somebody who was into manipulating people and controlling people and colonizing people so that they could be in charge of them. Just bear that in mind, okay? Meaning to gather people together in order to control them. They would basically colonize people, but they would enter people's worlds or lives, and then they would start to own the people or control the people. So you'd say, is all colonization bad? Well, if nobody owns the land, then it's no bad. But if somebody owns the land and then dictate, it's just pure dictatorship. You just own the land and just take control over it, okay? So this is who the first god was that Jezebel, who is Jezebel's dad, this was one of the gods that they worshipped. This is one of the gods they worshipped. That's who wee Jessie. This is who wee Jessie would have been running about as a wee lassie. Oh, that's who we worship, right? This would have been it. No mother anyway, so there's no role model. Dad, predominantly, nothing's talked about in the Old Testament how he nurtured her or anything, because he's too busy caught on his own stuff. So basically, the only nurturing she's got is to look at these gods. Okay, just to let you know. So, to gather people together in order to control them, basically enter in someone's life and take ownership of them. That's what modern colonization would be like as well. Maybe slightly different, but then it would be control or dictatorship. And it would be to turn people into needing them. That they could not do anything else, that everything they'd done was for them. Yeah. Okay? Everything they'd done was for them. Yeah. Okay? Okay, so that's the character of the first god that Jezebel was brought up in and nurtured into worship. Okay? The second is Astarte. Okay? Who? Means nothing. Okay. You may better know them as and very similarities, sometimes the gods that would depends on where they came from, what they called, what the name was. You maybe know this goddess better known as Aphrodite. The goddess of love, Aphrodite. Where'd you hear about this one? Aphrodite is actually the mother of the other god that they worship, Melkor. Aphrodite was the mother, so she's the boss. Okay? Remember, mythology only, no real people. So Jezebel was brought up in an environment where all she knows is to worship the goddess Aphrodite, okay? Or the nature of the goddess Aphrodite, you better calling it. And the god Melkor, who we know is a control freak, and his whole purpose in life is to get everybody and manipulate them and control them so that he can dictate where they go, okay? They're now talking the Bible of Jezebel's mother, as I said. So this is our role models in life. Aphrodite is a role model. You really don't want that. Trust me, you don't want Aphrodite to be your role model. Let me tell you why. Here's her characteristics. Partly, she was beautiful to look at. Right? So she was beautiful to look at. Oh, but that's just a fugazi anyway. But really, that doesn't truly give her character. This was just a decoy. This was a real character. And mythology, of course. Weak, sensitive, frightened, insecure, ill-tempered, easily offended. What was her supposed powers? Well, she was said to be able to cast spells or attack anyone who would not see her beauty or perfection. She tended to know like MD that didn't think she was super duper. Okay, let's just simplify this here. Her real anger was fueled any time she met someone who was more beautiful or better at her than anything. Have you seen the Jezebel? Now, for us to understand this, you're starting to see the Jezebel character getting formed here, because that's what they're like. They cannot cope with somebody else being good. Yeah. It terrifies them that somebody else would be better at them than them. And this is Jezebel's role model, Aphrodite. Her anger is fueled any time she met someone who was more beautiful or better at things than her. Unless she was number one all the time, unless she was little Mrs. Special, unless she was special, everybody else was in trouble. The minute anybody else shone, There were a war. The minute MDL stole the limelight, there's a battle. Are you hearing me here? Okay? Unless she's number one all the time, she would destroy anybody and outshine them. She was good at manipulating, especially men. She would manipulate men a lot. Adonis was one of the Greek gods. She liked him, right? But she liked him because he didn't age. Right? No, Adonis didn't age. Okay? Let me just tell you something about Aphrodite. This is interesting. She never had a childhood. Okay? A bit like Jezebel. Aphrodite never had a child. Okay, it's myth, so it doesn't really exist. Aphrodite was born. Nobody that young. Aphrodite was born when her father fell into the sea and his private bits fell off. He became a eunuch, which is dead similar to Jezebel, and we'll get into that another time. I've just not got enough time. I might write a book about this. I'd love to write a book about this. Honestly, this might be my first book. Yeah. Because there's too much in it. There's too much in it. Hope it wasn't that bit that you're interested in me writing a book about. So that's what happened, and then she came out, made a foam, and became Aphrodite. Yeah. So unless she's number one, so she never had a childhood. Aphrodite was born. Aphrodite, adult, long, flowing, lovely hair. Jezebel never has a childhood. The childhood is stolen from them because right from the very age they've been so neglected that they've ended up just focusing on, do you get what I mean? They're so neglected, this is what it comes to. So although Aphrodite was worshipped greatly by King Ethelbald and Sidon and Tyre, she was also, wait till you hear this, do you know where the next place that was where they worshipped Aphrodite more than anywhere else? Corinth. You should read the book of Corinthians. No wonder Paul had such bother with women in Corinthians. No one that says we don't permit that woman to speak. Yeah. And by the way, it wasn't that woman is the charismatics and the Pentecostal says, oh, it was because of the women in Corinth. It says a woman, the woman. It's no a woman, it's women permit them. And that gets you into bother, doesn't it? Yeah, but it's true. Which really explains the issue Paul had with this type of women in Corinth. Aphrodite had no childhood, neither did Jezebel. Well, none that was noted. No references anywhere. Self-indulgent, sensitive, insecure, angry, bitter, smart, very, very, very smart. No such a thing as a thick Jezebel. Jezebels are very, very, very smart. Will outwit you if you're not up for it, really. Control freak. Both Aphrodite and Jezebel are propelled into adulthood instantly. No nurture as such. Only nurturers is what they worshipped. Aphrodite was born when, I told you that just about the fire. Do you want me to tell you that bit again? You like that bit? She was obsessed. Aphrodite was obsessed with any man who had power. Any man who had power. And she made it her goal to own them, manipulate them, and get them to love her. And get them to love none other but her. Oh, honestly, see when I study this, that's the Jezebel. The Jezebel, the man of God starts to love anybody else other than Jezebel, they've got to be bothered. Big trouble. Her father, at no time did you see any form of nurture of Jezebel from him. All she's been nourished with is the Baals and the gods that he worship. Yeah. The colonising guy. And the Aphrodite who was obsessed with herself and wanted to control everybody. So, okay, now we know our nurtures and our psychology. We have a much clearer picture of our actions. So let's go to 1 Kings 16:29. I'm not going to read the whole story of Jezebel because I want to be quick because I'm going to move on to modern day Jezebels and how they're nurtured. Okay, how they're nurtured. And it'll freak some of you out, but we're okay. If you're saved, you'll be fine. Okay. So 1 Kings 16:20-30. This is Jezebel marries King Ahab in the 38th year of Asa, king of Judah. Ahab, the son of Omri, became king over Israel, and Ahab, the son of Omri, reigned over Israel and Samaria 22 years. Now Ahab, the son of Omri, did evil in the sight of the Lord more than all who were before him. That's her husband. Good start, eh? That's who she decides to marry. None to do with love here or anything. This is a power thing. That's the only reason she's doing it. And it came to pass as though it had been a trivial thing for him to walk in the sins. This is her husband, Ahab. It was just trivial. It was trivial for him to be the most evil guy in the whole world. To walk in the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat. He took his wife Jezebel. This is the first time she's mentioned at all in the Bible. Jezebel, the daughter of Ethbaal, king of Sidonians. This is how we got to know what gods they worshipped, okay? So just in conundrum, where did you pluck that fable? Because I know who he is. It tells me here in the Bible. She's the daughter of Ethbaal. Ethbaal, we know that means Baal is alive, false gods are alive. Then you know what area came from, which was Sidon, Tyre and Sidon. Then we know then if we trace it back to the time, then we know what gods they worshipped in, and that's how we know who they two are. Okay, that's how we know it's Aphrodite, and that's how we get to that conclusion, okay? Ahab was evil, but he was also way weaker than Jezebel. Jezebel always, nearly always marries a man who's just that wee bit weaker. Probably more like a Absalom, which I'll not get into tonight, but more like an Absalom spirit rather than somebody who's real authority. So they're evil, but they're still fear to her. Okay, Ahab was evil, but he was way weaker than Jezebel. She said it, he done it. She even had Elijah on the run, as we know. Elijah at the time was God's anointed prophet. And he even was terrified here. See, when a Jezebel says she's coming after you, it's nerve-wracking. Trust me, I know. See, when a Jezebel says, I'm coming after you, you can feel it in your spirit. Trust me. It's not like that. It's not like that excited nerves going on a roller coaster. And it's not like that terrified way you get when somebody says, I'm going to meet you at 3:30 at the end of the school, and he's the hardest fighter and he's going to batter you. It's not like that. It's a deeper drone in your spirit. You feel it. Well, I have anyway. She even had Elijah on the run from her. 1 Kings 1:19 and Ahab, which year? This tells you how weak Ahab was compared to Jezebel. 1 Kings 19. And Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, also how he had executed all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah saying, so let the gods do to me and more also, if you do not make your life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. And when he saw that, he arose and ran for his life. This is what Jezebel can make you feel like. This is Elijah, the man who could fire would come out his eyeballs with God, and yet this woman's just threatened him, and he's got an awful fright. Elijah, so let the gods do to me. And when he saw this, he arose and ran for his life and went to Beersheba, which belongs to Judah, and left his servants there. That's the only bit I'm going to read. We could get in and read more about that. When a Jezebel says they're coming after you, it's going to be a scary thing. Next thing she does is she takes total ownership of her husband. Know that she never had ownership of him before. 1 Kings 21:1-8. And it came to pass after these things. This lets you know how much controlling Jezebel is, but it'll let you also know how weak her husband is. And it came to pass in these things that Naboth, the Jezreelite, had a vineyard which was in Jezreel, next to the palace of Ahab, king of Samaria. So Ahab spoke to Naboth, saying, give me your vineyard that I may have it for vegetable garden, because it is near next to my house, and for it I will give you a vineyard better than that. I don't want to go deep here into that. That's dead similar to the god who's trying to colonise, by the way, just there. But we don't want to. I don't want to lose you. But that's in that. That I may have it for a vegetable garden, because it is near next to my house, and for it because. The reason I said that is one of the jobs of Jezebel and Ahab is to just control everything. Yeah. Just to control absolutely everything and everybody. But they want the land as well. They're after the land. They're always after the land. They want ownership of everything. Because it is near next to my house, and for it I will give you a vineyard better than that. Or if it seems good to you, I will give you its worth in money. But Naboth said to Ahab, the Lord forbid that I should give the inheritance of my fathers to you. So, wait till this. This is big tough Ahab. Okay, this is the king. So Ahab went into his house sullen and displeased. Sullen means he took a big cream puff. Okay, he took a big cream. He went in a big cream puff. He spat his dummy tit out and was displeased because the word of Naboth was spoken to him, and said, I will not give you an inheritance of my fathers. Wait till you hear this. This is how childish. This is a king. This is who Jezebel. No wonder she married somebody as weak as this. And he laid down in his bed. I'm going to my bed. I'm not happy. And he laid down in his bed and he turned his face away. It's like a child, isn't it? You ever have that? No, with your son or your daughter. No. Oh, I'm not playing. And he laid down in his bed and turned his face and he wouldn't have his dinner. No, I don't want any dinner. I'm not having any dinner. It's pathetic, isn't it? He's pathetic. Listen, can I just say it loud? He's pathetic. And he lay down in his bed and turned his face and would eat no food. But Jezebel, his wife, came in to him and said to him, why is your spirit so sullen that you don't eat food? He said to her, because I spoke to Naboth the Jezreelite and said to him, give me your vineyard for the money or else. Because I didn't get what I wanted. That's what he's saying. Because I spoke to Naboth the Jezreelite and said to him, give me your vineyard for money or else, if it pleases you, I'll give you another vineyard. And he answered, I will not give you the vineyard. Then Jezebel, his wife, said to him, you now exercise... This is what she says. I know it says there. I know what it says. You now exercise authority over Israel, but this is what she actually says. You are such a big crybaby. That's what she's saying. Don't you know I'm the boss? Don't you know I'm the boss? No, you big crybaby. And she's mocking him. She's totally mocking him. Give me your vineyard for the money and I will not give you the vineyard. Then Jezebel says to him, you now exercise authority over Israel. Arise, eat food, let your heart be cheerful. I will give you all. You'll decide. See, if she wants it, she's gone for it. I will give you the vineyard. No, even I'm asking, I'll be taken. And she wrote letters in Ahab's name. Oh, seriously. Some of you maybe brought him home like that. No, it's just like the man has just no power whatsoever. No power whatsoever. Only power's got is the mother. You know what I mean? And do you know where I'm coming for there? I don't want to get personal here, but you know where I'm coming for here. You know, you've got this big tough woman and the guy's like, she's writing letters, his name, opening these letters, telling him what he eats, when not to eat, where he's going, where he's not going, what he's doing, what he's not doing. Oh, crazy, man. Do you know what? I never want to come to the day that that's the type of church we're trying to build. I want to build a church where there's men of God. Yeah. Seriously. And see, if you're building a church with your men of God, you can expect these headbangers to chase you. Yeah. Seriously, I hope you heard me there. Oh, I'll be in bother for that, Ian. And she wrote letters in Ahab's name, sealed them with his seal, and sent the letters to the elders and the nobles who were dwelling in the city of Naboth. After that, Ahab simply Jezebel's puppet. No, that he wasn't that before it, but no, he's just a puppet. She wears the trousers. For sure. Jezebel continues to encourage and manipulate Ahab to commit sin. This is what Jezebel does for the rest of Ahab's life. She encourages him to commit sin. You know, there's some people you've had in your life who want to encourage you to commit sin. That's sick. Really, really sick. You want to be getting shot at them quickly. Oh no, I love them the way the Lord did. No, he didn't. want to bomb them right away. Jezebel continues to manipulate. However, Elijah's back. God kind of slaps him. You get back up here. And Elijah gets back on the scene. And I love Elijah comes back on the scene and encouraged by God to fulfill his purpose. This is what Elijah says in 1 Kings 21:23. He's been under the trees, he comes back. He's been encouraged in the Lord. And concerning he's had a big conversation with Ahab about what's going to happen to him. And Ahab dies in battle, which is a whole other story because he doesn't listen to any advice and he dies in battle. There's a brilliant whole passage in Scripture where he meets a guy called Micaiah. It's phenomenal about not listening to truth tellers in your life. It's amazing. And that's in 1 Kings, start at 1 Kings 21 or 1 Kings 20. And concerning Jezebel, the Lord said, and concerning Jezebel, the Lord also spoke, saying, the dog shall eat Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel. The dog shall eat whoever belongs to Ahab and die in the city, and the birds of the air shall eat whoever dies in the field. But there was no one like Ahab who sold himself to the wickedness in the sight of the Lord, because Jezebel, his wife, stirred him up. That's what she does. She loves to stir people up. Ahab eventually dies in battle, but Jezebel outlives him for the next 14 years. 14 years she's on the rampage. Incidentally, just to let you know, 14 years she's on the rampage. Jezebel's daughter is a woman called Alathiah. Alathiah, if you can remember, we're calling it cross the church over, because I don't know what else to call it. When the word of God was found, that was a passage we read about Alathiah. Yeah. And Alathiah was Jezebel's daughter, and she was worse than her, if not the same. Jezebels are quite hereditary. Okay, so just to let you know, it's hereditary. It's generational. No, unless you cut that generation. No, unless you cut that, it can be generational. It can follow from mother to mother. Listen, predominantly, let me just say this. Jezebels aren't always female. They're just nearly always female. You can still be a Jezebel man, but predominantly it's women, okay? Just to let you know. But there is no one like Ahab. Right, okay, let me move on. Ahab eventually dies in battle. Jezebel outlives him 14 years, continuing to torment the men who want to worship God. This is her whole goal. How do you torment anybody that wants God or want to worship God? She does eventually get took out. She does get took out. She gets took out by a man called Jehu. Jehu takes her out. And you have to go 14 years later to find that in 2 Kings 9. Let's go to 2 Kings 9. We'll just read about her death. Now, when Jehu had come to Jezreel, I love this scripture because I'll tell you why I love it. This is 14 years. This is 15 years later after Elijah prophesied how she was going to die. You know, don't you just love God? No, even though she thinks I can win the show. Like, no, you know. So 2 Kings 9, 30, 35, and this is what it says. Now, when Jehu had come to Jezreel, Jezebel heard of it. Wait till you see the tenacity of this woman. Oh, honestly, did you see my disdain there? Honestly, wait till the tenacity of this article here. Jezebel heard of it, and she put, no, love the person, hate the. I'm not doing it. I'll hijack your spot in these suckers. Jezebel heard of it, and she put paint in her eyes and adorned her head and looked through the window. She knows she's nowhere to go. She's ready to be killed. Jehu's on his way to kill her, who was God's anointed, and she puts all the makeup on like that. You know that you would just love to. Aye. Do you know that? Do you know them types? And she's sitting there like a dish of fish. No. So she says, and she mocks him. She knows she's getting killed, but she mocks him anyway. And she put paint in her eyes and adorned her head and looked through the window solemnly. Then as Jehu entered the gate, she said to him, "Is it peace, Samira, murderer of the master?" That is real mockery, because what she's talking about is, it's a bit like saying, Zamiri was another guy who was a man of God who died after 7 days. So she's basically saying, you're an idiot as well. No, you're just one of them. You know, she's just totally mocking him and totally disregarding him as a person here. Zamiri, murderer of your master. And he looked up at the window and said, "Who's on my side? Who?" So 2 or 3 eunuchs. What Jezebel would have is she would have eunuchs. Okay, that means men with nothing. Better just say that. Okay. To me, I believe in metaphors in the Bible. I know some people are so literal. I was debating with a guy last week, and I just ended up, I'm not debating you anymore, because he was trying to debate with me about everything is so like that. But we were talking about a scripture in the Bible. It was actually my thinking church, and he was talking about, we were talking about that was to the Jews in Israel and all that. And I'm like, then there's nothing in the Bible's relevant then. Of course there needs to be metaphors in the Bible, otherwise you would say, that doesn't apply to me, that only applies to Jews. That doesn't apply to me, that only applies to the Pharisees, that only applies to me. And I'm just like, forget it. You know, I think people make me itch. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not going to bother. So then as Jehu entered the gate, he said, "Is it peace, Amiri, murderer, or your master?" And he looked at the window and said, "Who is on my side? Who?" So 2 or 3 eunuchs, the point I was making there, eunuchs is not just symbolising what they had, it's symbolising that they weren't, how weak they were as men. Yeah, okay. So looked at him and said, then he said, "Throw her down." So they did anyway. These were all the people she'd run about him. She always had ballless men run about her. I need to say that because that's exactly what it is. I'm not trying to, I wouldn't ever be rude, do you know what I mean? Not on a platform anyway. But That's what she always had drawn about her, was weak men. But they weak men ended up with the right guidance turn on her. Throw her down, so they threw her down and some of her blood splattered on the wall and on the horses. Yeah. And he trampled, I'm telling you, I'm cheering. And he trampled her underfoot, and when he had gone in, he ate and drank. Oh, he's just went in, party, I don't care. She's gone. Then he says, go now and send a curse to this cursed woman, bury her, for because she's a king's daughter. So she deserved, because she was a king's daughter, she deserved at least to get buried. So they went to bury her, wait till this, but they found her no more. The dogs had ate her. The dogs, what he said, what Elijah says. They found her no more, except for the skull. I love this. Her feet and her palms. Anything that remotely resembled Christ. Where was Jesus crucified? His hands and his feet, and he wore the crown of thorns. That's the only thing that was left in this woman. Try to tell me Jesus isn't in the Old Testament? Amazing. Okay. And this was how Elijah prophesied. Okay, let me move on and go. Are we cool here? Yeah. Let me now move on and share a little bit of time I've got left, and let me fast forward to exposing a Jezebel in modern day times and trying to explain to you how they operate. Now, this might be a wee bit ouchy, okay, but we'll have a wee chat and a cup of tea after it. It might be a wee bit ouchy because the chances are you're going to identify, well, you may well identify with this in your own upbringing. Some of you may, some of you won't, but it doesn't mean you're one, all right? Okay, and I'll keep referring to this, okay? So, exposing Jezebel in the modern day Jezebel and how to spot them. Jezebels are no your run-of-the-mill enemy. They are the number one highest ranking enemy, highest ranking warrior for Satan. That's who Satan will enter because they're so powerful, okay? There's no higher ranking official in Satan's army than a Jezebel, okay? Jezebel's brilliant at attaching other people and all the wee minions. She's brilliant at that too, but there's no higher ranking than that, and the devil will use her. Let me just say something else. This is quite scary. Very few Jezebels, if any, actually think they're one. They don't know they're one. That can make you sympathise with them. No me, unfortunately. But it could make you sympathise with them and empathise with them. But no me. But they don't know they're one. They actually think they're God's gift. They actually think they're doing the world a favour. They actually think they're doing the church a favour. They actually think they're saving people and helping people. They're no. Okay. So, Jezebels are no your run-of-the-mill enemy. They're the most sophisticated of altered mentors, and they won't stop no matter what. So who are they? What's their mission? And where do they come from? In short, they are people, usually women, who have been deeply wounded or hurt in their childhood. This is where they stem from. I'm not saying every woman, I've been deeply wounded and hurt in my childhood, imagine. No, this is where the devil picks them for. So this is the picking ground. This is the nurture no comfort. Right? They are people, usually women, who have been deeply wounded or hurt in their childhood. They're almost in every church. Or they have been at some point. Or at least have heard the gospel. Remember, we're talking about modern day Jezebels now. No Old Testament, modern day. They have one mission. One mission only. Eventually they have one mission. In their juvenility, in their childhood, in their nurturing, when they're merely candidates, they're not born about God. They're only a candidate then. But eventually, if they get promoted and they get promoted, they will eventually become full-blown Jezebels. If they get promoted, if they don't get saved, or something doesn't happen, or they don't get saved, that's what will happen. Okay? They have one mission, to stop the man of God preaching and the word of God getting preached and eventually not kill the church. If they can shut the church, they'll shut the church. If they can start a campaign, they'll start a campaign. If they can do anything, if they can get a petition, they'll get a petition. They'll do anything to shut down the church. Anything. Okay? Before I move on here to tell you this, remember the gods that I told you about, the characteristics of God, because this will help you. Okay? Okay, so let me tell you the nurture of a Jezebel. There are two types of nurture for a Jezebel. There's probably more, but I'll give you two. Jezebel will never ever come from a balanced, rounded family. Now that does not mean that if you've come from a dysfunctional family, you're one. It means if you've came from a dysfunctional family, you're more likely to be susceptible to being attacked by the enemy to use you for it, okay? It means you could definitely be, the enemy would maybe try and manipulate you or tempt you. That's why getting saved is vital if you've came from dysfunction. Okay? Remember, most Jezebels don't know they're one. So the defending a family is sound and balanced, is no more authentic or honest than their unawareness of being a Jezebel themselves. Jezebels will almost certainly be brought them away where they would be around either an aggressive father or an aggressive mother or an aggressive but emotionally absent father would be common. So maybe somebody was aggressive but kind of absent in your life. Absent doesn't mean to say that you never see them. It just means that there's just no part of any of the nurturing, okay? Or the mother for that reason. So maybe an aggressive but absent mother. They will have been mocked as a child, belittled, most likely by either one or both parents at some point. They will have been emotionally rejected, predominantly due to pre-consumed neglect, not naturally neglect, pre-consumed neglect. Neglect today, the greatest neglect today is pre-consumed neglect, where the parents can't love the child because they're too busy trying to get love themselves for somewhere else. They will have been emotionally rejected, predominantly due to their pre-consumed neglect. However, whenever it suited the parent, they may give them affection, but only for the sake of their benefit. The child's only a prop. Oh, have you seen me, Chantel? She's gorgeous, isn't she? But it's really only about you. Well, no you. Them. And what they'll gain for it. Yeah. So they're a prop. So it makes them really real, makes them totally understand that they're a nullity. And what happens is with that is, what I've not wrote in my notes is, what it means is they have a real low value in people, because people don't matter. People that matter not a jot to them, okay? Because they've never been taught to value people. However, whenever it suited the parents, they may have forgiven affection. They would often be embarrassed by their parents, mocked openly at times. They would also be played and pawned between parents at times as bait. That's another one. For selfish gain and to win a fight. They would be very early age, have a deep feeling of inferiority and inadequacy for your childhood, which often leads to overperforming or having a never-ending drive to impress people. Predominantly become blatant liars. Can't believe a word they say because every word they say is... Can I just be honest with you? See, as I'm reading this, see right up until this point, I can identify with that. Just to give you a bit of comfort here. You're not alone. I identify with that type of person. Just to let you know, trying to impress Jolly Jerry, the life and soul of the party, all that stuff. I can identify with that right there. So just in case you're sitting going, oh no. Or maybe you're sitting going, I'm not Mo, I'm not Dad, I'm whatever. I can identify with that very nature of that need to impress and that disease to please that's there. They would be very early age, feeling a deep inferiority and inadequacy, but also leads to overperforming and having a never-ending desire to impress. This is, in fact, where Jezebel starts to get her intelligence from. They are usually hard-working, can study hard, as they believe that would get them more noticed by working hard and playing hard. I think they would get some love by doing well, by trying really hard. I would get a lot of love by doing that. They would get their identity in their performance. Their acceptance would come by performing. It's common in the Jezebel candidate. Listen, see if you're identifying with this and you've been saved by God's grace, you want to be on your knees at the end. Oh, you don't want to be going, oh no, you want to be on your knees thanking God that you're not a candidate anymore. Are we okay here for 5 minutes? Okay, thank you. At least get them noticed and get them some love and give them identity, which has been stolen from the offset. Remember, a Jezebel doesn't have an identity for the offset. Her identity is only to worship the gods, where it been Aphrodite and the other one. A Jezebel has no identity as a child. All her identity is found in performance and others' impression of them. So you don't really have an identity. Who am I? Who do you want me to be? Who are you? I don't care who I am. Who do you want me to be? That's exactly what I'll be. Or I'll try and figure out what you're looking for and I'll become that person. That's how a Jezebel operates in its infancy. At this point, they're not a Jezebel. They've just started to develop the mindsets and the belief systems that could lead them there. A Jezebel is not... Okay. Let me pause to say at this stage that... I've said that already. Okay, move on. That's why Jezebel can be hereditary. Okay, Alathia. I said that Jezebel can be hereditary. They follow on from parent to parent. because she's the same spirit. Alalafai is the same spirit as her mum. However, the name's different, but the condition's the exact same. It says that the devil then roams about, you know the scripture, the devil roams about like a lion to seek who he may devour. Who's he going to devour? Anybody who's got that belief system and mindset in their childhood and get that feeling inferiority, inadequacy and all that stuff going on, you're a prime candidate. You're a prime candidate. That's why we teach what we teach in this church about renewing the mind, so that you don't become a prime candidate. Seriously. And that's why the devil, that's why Jezebel's want to kill me. Trust me, that's how they want to kill me. Because I talk about this. No, this is no egoist. I'm just telling the facts here. The devil roams about like a lion to seek who he may devour, and the people with this type of nurture will be on the hit list. So if you've had that type of nurture, you'll be on the hit list. Okay? However, God would need to be in the atmosphere as well at that point, because they're usually running about God stuff and all. But more than likely, they've had an experience with God. All this nurturing turns future Jezebels into very dysfunctional kids who struggle emotionally, cannot handle pain in any way, shape or form, in a balanced way, have usually a warped and shameful way of dealing with themselves. Okay? When the Jezebel candidate reaches the age of 5 or 7, or thereabout, it differs from each child, but usually between the age of 5 and 7. For some, it may be even younger. They will have started to develop a defence mechanism, listen to me here, to avoid any further pain or humiliation. This is the thing. It's no self-preservation. What do I need to do not to be hurt anymore? Okay? This is the Alfred Adler stuff on individual psychology. If you're ever into that, you should study it. I like it. No. And if you don't want to study, I'll tell you about it sometime. This is where they will become much more self-sufficient. So you've got a 7-year-old who's totally independent. It's always a sad thing to see, I think, don't you think? This is where they will become much more self-sufficient, and they will have learned to manipulate for affection. Well, everybody can learn to manipulate for affection, but some of these candidates are just absolute grade A students at this. They know how to manipulate for affection and praise and love. Of course, it's not always the case that this manifests into their teams and some Jezebels. Here's another thing. Some Jezebels who maybe have had this nurturing, maybe have laid dormant. This is a classic. It might have laid dormant for years. And then they maybe marry into a man of God years later. And then they get propelled into a church and everything manifests in an instant. So they might have just been dormant for years. They might have just had that nurturing for years, but it's been suppressed. And then years later, they come into church. And then they get a woman, predominantly a woman, will get propelled into leadership. She'll get propelled into leadership and all hell will break loose. Because she's got a platform and she's gained it up for no man. She's gained that up for no man. That's how it works. So that's just a wee thing, and she just rise like a phoenix from the ashes for years later after it's been dormant. However, the root cause has happened at the same time during their nurture. So there's early adopter Jezebels and there's late adopters. I'll just move on again. Let me just move on. Time's gone. Let me move on. The Jezebel candidate is now a teen, and they now know they're not going to get anywhere by performing. This is what happens next. So by the time a Jezebel candidate's a teen, it knows it's not going to get anywhere by performing. Maybe you identify, I say to them, you know you're not getting anywhere in performing here, I'm getting nowhere. This is what happens. The Jezebel candidate's now a teen, and they now know that they're not going to get anywhere by performing. They have tried all that, and still they're invisible to their nurturers in the world. However, they've discovered something else. They're not invisible to the crowd. See, this is where the Jezebel... They're invisible to their parents, they're invisible to their nurturers, they're invisible to them, but they're not invisible to the crowd. Now the Jezebel candidate starts to develop a new trait and a new pain. This is the new pain this is the new pain they've developed. They can't stand anybody else getting praised other than them. Okay, you see in the similarities to Aphrodite. They cannot stand being praised or anybody else being praised beyond them. In fact, they hate anyone getting praised, not just from their nurturers. No, they hate anybody being praised by anybody. This takes the Jezebel into a new realm. Yeah, we will call this realm. Are we okay? Are we still okay here? We're going to call this realm here as we move on the badge holder realm. Okay, what does that mean? Well, it means this. If they're not being star of the day, star of the show, or getting all the badges, By people saying they're the best and the best hard worker and you're the best. And the best at whatever. And someone else is. Then at all costs, that other person must be stripped to the title so that they can get the praise. So what happens next is the candidate finds ways to try and outperform everyone who is getting what they want. This is usually the first port of call. They will try and outplay them, outwrite them, outrun them, outsing them, outsmart them, or out-whatever them, their opponent, in order to gain praise. Now, this will become impossible as they navigate life, because you can't be the best at everything. Aphrodite was the best at everything. Because they're always going to meet somebody that's better. What happens next? Well, if they can't be the best, they can't be most talents. That's why the Jezebel then becomes so deeply threatened by talent. Jezebel will be so deeply, deeply threatened by other people's talent. Cannot stand the thought of somebody else getting any praise or getting somebody else with talent's a deep threat for her need to be loved and accepted. That's why Jezebels are deeply threatened by talent. Talented and gifted people are like poison to Jezebel. Total poison. Because if they can't outplay them, outsmart them, outthink them, or outsing them, then they'll go to plan B. Hijack, disrupt, belittle, backbite, gossip, slander. Anybody who's better than them or getting any more light than them, they will take that sucker down in any way they can. Okay? Okay, I'm trying to get through some of this because it's so wordy in it. Disrupt, belittle, backbite, gossip, slander them who is the badge or the talent in order for them who are given the praise or the reward to stop giving them the praise or reward. Do you understand? Yeah. How can us? So that would be like me. James is getting all the praise because he's brilliant at the bass guitar and I'm no good enough. Do you understand? Let me just fire this out. Jezebels are often in worship, just to let you know. They love because they want to control the worship. So if Jezebel's in contemporary church, if a Jezebel in a predominantly a temporary church can get into the worship, that's where they want to be. Because what they want to do is they want to propel the worship away from, they want to propel the worship away from God and worship them in their big, beautiful voice. That's how they do it. So that's how they operate. In fact, I know, are you still laughing, Fraser? Right? So what will happen is this is how they'll operate. So James is the bass player and he's doing great. I'm the Jezebel candidate. Or I might be a full-blown one at this point. And I can't cope with people saying, by the way, you were brilliant today, James. You were amazing. Now, if I can't outplay him, I need to then go and tell everybody how bad he is at something else. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I need to discredit him. Yeah. One of the biggest traits of a Jezebel is to try and discredit you. Hello? Yeah. One of the biggest traits. If they can discredit you, then when they get exposed, see, if a Jezebel can discredit a man of God, the church or anything, the minute they get discredited and then you expose them, nobody will believe you. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Nobody will believe you because you've been discredited. So then when you eventually do call them out, which Elijah didn't, I don't believe it. Hey, Jezebel's all right. Oh, it's you, because their whole goal is to discredit. Yeah. And this happens in their infancy. Yeah. This happens way, way back. They're not even near a church yet. They're not even near leadership. This takes the Jezebel into another realm where it gets really manipulative. And the condition starts to really take deep grasp of them. Yet still in its infancy compared to where Jezebel will go when it's fully matured in a church. When they can't seem to go out to outperform their fellow man, they'll go up to all sorts. Jezebel is extremely talented, very smart, also very creative, usually creative types, even if that creativity is all negative. So the talent can't... Anyway, I'll move on. I don't want to miss anything. They will manipulate them, do anything to get them on their... Oh, this is the next thing they do. So what will they do to try and gather the crowd? So the talent... When the talent can't outshine the other person, they will try and rally the crowd to cheer them on. Okay, that's the next bit they'll do. They will manipulate them. This is where the minions come in. This is where all the wee minions come in, okay? Because what's happened is the Jezebel in the background is orchestrating. And what they're doing is they're actually cheering her on. Hallelujah. Jezebel, you're wonderful. Jezebel, you're wonderful. Jezebel, you're wonderful. Jezebel, you're wonderful. And so should all of us. Except me. So should all of us. Jezebel, you're wonderful. Jezebel, you're wonderful. Jezebel, you're not wonderful. You're demonic. Jezebel's wonderful. Jezebel's wonderful. Jezebel's wonderful. Can't believe James is getting picked. Why am I not getting picked? Have you heard me yet? And everybody's now, she's going to vote. Everybody's saying, why is Jezebel not getting playing? She's amazing. They will try and rally the crowd. They manipulate. They get, you've heard me talking about how they comfort people and how they find a need and get into their need. They will manipulate them, do anything they can to get them on their side. That way it adds more weight and more voices to the injustice they're having of not being picked and not being loved and not being included. It just adds more weight to the injustice for the lack of praise or attention. I'll get into that in my book. I will close with this, and I'm way over. Because there's another nurtured type which is that becomes a full-on, that can lead to a full-on Jezebel. Let me add one more nurture factor that leads to a Jezebel candidate, and maybe a full-blown one. A modern-day Jezebel can also be nurtured by total pampering. This is where a parent, usually a mother but not always, is a chronic codependent. The parent is so obsessed with the need for the sibling to constantly be satisfied that they will do anything to fulfill that satisfaction. They think the child's tantrums, cries, pain has to be fixed, else the child won't love them. This bond is then formed and it becomes them against the world. And if even you try to hurt their little precious child, you will see a monster rising right in front of you. Right in front of your eyes. This is why we will sometimes talk about these things in church. It's not to hurt people, because see, the thing is, see if you nurture like that, and your child, as they grow up, don't get into a Bible-based church and find Christ, they are going to be a candidate for this stuff because they're going to be nurtured in the wrong way. Absolutely. This is how the enemy works in 21st century, people. Yeah. This bond is then formed and it becomes them against the world. And if you even try to hurt little precious child, you will see the monster rise up in front of you. They have failed to teach their child patience or delayed gratification. And because of that, their coping skills are zero, but their demands are astronomical. The second they feel pain, rejection, exclusion or something, the parent is on hand to soothe, heal them and bring them back into the fortress and the fairy tale bubble. This type of Jezebel candidate often has similar relationships with their parents, usually mother, as their mother has with their own mother. So gran and grandpa become also nurturers of the Jezebel candidate. By the time this one is 5 or 7 or thereabouts, they tend to get into the same business. They tend to go through the same process as the others or the previous type, but with one huge advantage. They already have someone who's cheering them on all the way. This doesn't make them worse or better. It does, however, often make them slightly less secretive and more crass about their actions and their behaviour. Their pampered life leads to a total inability to accept anything that makes them feel anything other than special. Remember, from birth they have been taught and felt and heard nothing other than they are the ultimate perfect human being. No one comes close to even being more valuable than how much a superstar you are. And all they had to do to get that attention was cry or put the petted lip out. Or look angry at the parent who is absolutely devastated with rejection because they think the child's not going to love them. And little precious is then needs to be more pampered and more loved. By the time they're about 2 or 3, they are now the total boss. They call the shots. This often causes divorce and marriages. The wife has chosen little Miss Precious over her husband. Seriously. It's important to add that often the mother deliberately can do this, or the father, but predominantly the mother. As the thought of little Precious actually loving their father equally is just way too threatening for the mother. What happens next is tragic. The young Jezebel candidate leaves the home and enters the big bad world called school or what life, where she or he no longer is the star of the day. Because she's meeting thousands of stars of the day that day. She's no longer the star of the day, but merely only one of millions of stars. They're totally ill-equipped to deal with anyone who steals their limelight or thunder. They can't comprehend why anyone would not see how much more special they are compared to everyone else. After all, that's all they've ever heard all their life. They have never seen or heard anyone other than them being praised. The truth is, people are totally invisible to them. The only reason they see people as existing is for the good of their pleasure and props for their own show. The problem is the world is not on the same page. They don't share mummy's testament or daddy's testament. They are not obsessed with getting love from little diva. In fact, they actually very quickly avoid the candidate, as they can't cope with all the attention grabbing and limelight stealing and tantrums they seem to throw. This propels the young candidate into a rage of despair. The nurturer now is also in despair as little Miss Precious gets home from school crying, bubbling, wondering why nobody loves her. What do they do? Cuddle you, make you feel better, tell them that everybody's wrong. How dare the world not see my little perfect baby is? How dare they not make his or her star of the day every day? How dare they even consider that somebody else would be remotely more important than my little Precious? Do you think this would be a good book? The candidate is not just simply comforted. They are given rewards and more treats for not being star of the day. But way worse than that, they are told that the world has got it wrong. And the teachers got it wrong, and everybody's got it wrong, and you should have been star of the day. They have now developed a new way of dealing with things. I just need to say again, I'm not saying that everybody has been nurtured this way, will graduate into that. I'm just merely sharing the environment and the nurture that eventually becomes one. Let me close. This is my close. This is why we need God, and this is why we need Jesus. What happens next is the candidate is no longer a candidate but a trainee. Because that's where the enemy will roam about to seek who may devour and see if somebody's got traits and behaving like that and they're not willing to turn to God. They're going to get picked. They're hand-picked. Is nurturing important? Aye, it's important. Do we talk about it in church? No. No, we don't talk about it in church enough. We brush it aside as if it's nothing. No knowing that I don't know if there are more Jezebels in the 21st century or no, because I've not lived in any other century, but there are plenty at the moment. They seem to be on the increase for me. Maybe they're on the increase because of this type of nurturing in this day and age. I don't know. And Satan's always in the prowl and be drawn to the schemes and the games of that character. He's desperate. That is the perfect character for him to manipulate. And then what will he do next? Lead them to church. Lead them to church. Because now that's where they'll get in. And they'll get into church and they'll start in church and they'll get involved in church. And then they'll get into leadership in church, or they'll find a way and they'll be in close proximity to the man of God. And they'll try and take every single person down that they can take down and discredit and do all this stuff. Because that's what they're now, just totally a slave to Satan. Do I feel sorry for them? No, I don't. I'm sorry, I'm not in that realm tonight. The truth will set you free. I know we need grace and truth, and if anybody's got that and it's going on with that, we will pray that they repent and get, no, because that's desperately needed. But you know what my job is today is, for me, I want to let the men of God know it's out there that they need to be aware of this. Because there are too many men of God out there that are no any more aware of it. And see, the thing is, see if I've just done it in a night, I've let this church, I've let my sheep know, I've let the sheep that I know that I'm supposed to take care of, to make sure that they know what they are when they come up, and make sure that you're not going to manipulate your mind and do stuff. Thank God we've been saved by God's grace, because see, if you know you want to be a sitting target for this stuff, where they go next is crazy, and you'll get that in chapter 3 of my book as we go on. That's only the first 2 chapters of the book. That's where they are. That's how they operate. That's what they've been doing here for weeks. That's what they've been doing in my life for years. That's what they're going to keep doing. But you know what? It doesn't matter. They will get flung off the building. They will lose, and God will always, always get all the glory. Amen. Can everybody come up? Sorry, that was dead long. Can everybody stand? You need a lie down after that, wouldn't you? And who would have thought that's how they operate? Yeah, sure is. Crazy. Let's bow our heads. Lord Jesus, we thank you for your word tonight, and that we get these first Wednesdays where we can talk about these things that we can't always talk about. And We're so grateful for your word. We're so grateful that we have been saved by your grace, that no matter the dysfunction we've been in or even the dysfunction we've caused, that your mercies are renewed every day and we've got a chance to get it right. Thank God. Lord, I pray for the men of God in this world who are being terrorised today. I really do, God, that they're being terrorised by these type of people, with these type of spirits, with these people who have been terrorised by the enemy and then being used as a prop to annihilate the church. In your word, that you would protect them, that you would protect their mind, that they would become much more aware, that the church would become much more aware, that the body would become much more aware, that we would be people that pray for our leaders. It's hard, God, when I'm talking less because it sounds like I'm being needy, and oh, but God, we need to pray for our leaders. We need to pray for the protection of them. We really do. Because the enemy will absolutely devour them at any cost, if they could. We thank you that we do stand on the shoulders of giants, that there's great men in God who have went before us who are just bold in their preaching and just refuse to be quiet and refuse to submit and refuse to run and refuse to hide. And amongst all this, God, there's 1,000,001 different ways how the Jezebel spirit manipulates. One of the saddest things, God, is, and I know this will break your heart, I know it does, is that their people are just hurting and broken and frightened and angry. Who they hook and they entrap them into their game with no consideration for their well-being whatsoever, or their soul, or their heart, or their mind. We just pray, God, that they would find you. We know you're sovereign. Yes, you are. Above everything, God, I'm grateful, and I'm sure the people here are grateful that we're saved by your grace. That we never need to be again yoked to a bondage of slavery. Amen. Thanks for your patience, guys. I know it was a bit longer than expected. You don't know where to stop that stuff, but hey. Questions in a postcard to James, eh? Take care. Thanks, guys.
Like a fire burning strong till the night is come and gone. There's a hope that lives in.
Thank you so much for joining us in our live stream today. We really hope that God's word has impacted you.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have any prayer requests, then please send them into info@hopeunited.org.uk and we will be praying for you.
See you soon.